Alrighty, another good day. Fucking postman has been. So, next update. We're getting somewhere. So, as you can see, painted the rocks a bit of grey. Just whatever grey primer this is. Been kicking around in a box. I then hit it with some of that AK Interactive stuff I was talking about the other day. This one's Desert Dust. Now, I thought this was going to come out a fairly mid-brown, and it did when I put it on, but now I've let it dry. We're dusty. We're real dusty. So, actually kind of happy accident, because I was thinking I was going to have to hit it with a dry brush or something like that. I'm pretty much going to leave it there. So, you know, no, that was nice and easy. This is the other one that I've been using on other stuff like clay. Now that ends up drying down fairly similar to that, like a very terracotta, dusty kind of look. Looks great. Also added in a few tufts. So I've gone for these like sort of dark olive kind of, you know, shrubberies, and a couple of dead looking ones as well, just to help lay on that Sicilian Spanish sort of arid kind of vibe. Finished all the patchwork and all that sort of stuff the other night, and that's all dried nice. And yeah, so the postman delivered Senor Static. He is all primed up, ready to go. I'm gonna have to do a bit of testing with that thing. I've never used one before, so you know that could go drastically wrong. Digging through my boxes of static grass that I've accumulated over the years. I don't know why I have so much of it, because I don't use it for anything. I just seem to have heaps. So I've got some sort of very dry, dead looking grass here. The main thing for me was making sure I get a green that's not super green, you know what I mean? Like, so I ordered a bunch, but as with ordering anything online, it never really looks like it does in the bloody picture. So I got a bunch of different shades, like, you know, you got some seriously disco shit here. And you know, they send you all kinds of stuff with these things, so plenty to choose from. I'm gonna have to pick one and then just order a heap more of it basically, but it's cheap as chips from Temu and all that, so it's not the end of the world. Been digging through all my different tufts and flowers and all that sort of thing as well. I may end up adding one or two flower tufts onto this, but it'll be like one or two as like spot colors, just to give it a bit of something. But I'll, you know, cross that bridge when we get to it. Ran out of time tonight, husband duties away, so gonna crack on with all of that, and then I'm hoping tomorrow I'll get a bit of time after games night and get some grass down. Looking good though. Alright, updates. As you can see, I've thrown a bit of a dry brush over this, so just a nice sandy colour, just to sort of tie it into the rocks a little bit. After chatting to a couple of mates and all the rest, sort of decided those rocks were really quite stark against the brown. Also being, you know, supposedly a hotter climate, felt like I needed a little bit more of a warmer colour on there. So dry brushed away. Dual purpose with the dry brushing as well was, you know, gets all the loose stone and dust and crap off it, so that was good. Nice and easy. Used a makeup brush for it, which is just, you know, the done thing in wargaming these days. Basically just, you know, get an old one off your missus, or if you're true to the wargaming aesthetic and you're single, just hit them up from Kmart, cheap as chips. Other than that, I did a couple of little flower tufts, like I said I was going to do, just a few, just to give some spot colour. Common sort of wildflowers, according to Google, for southern Spain tend to be yellows and whites and stuff, so I had some yellow ones, nice and easy. So we are dry, now ready to do some static grass application. Picked up a couple of extra bags from the hobby shop yesterday, mainly because the ones that came from Temu, I was worried about the length of them. These are 5mm length. Now that'll probably look pretty good, and I'll mix some of it in, but if I go 5mm length on everything, I am playing fantasy on this. I'm going to be fucking lawnmower and this stuff with movement trays, so I don't know if that's going to rip it up or what. I can seal it, which I'll do, but I don't know what that's going to make it look like. So just thought I'll get some 2mm stuff, give me, you know, some options. Plus you want varied length anyway with static grass, mainly because, you know, grass doesn't all grow uniform, gives it a nice realistic look. Now in terms of placement, I don't want to completely carpet it. I do want some of the actual groundwork showing through. So the thing I've got to think about is placement, because obviously this being modular, I can't leave like a brown patch here on the edge, and then on the other tile it'll be like all grass, so then you'll just have like a completely straight line of grass that cuts off into nothing. It'll look a bit stupid. So I think the only sort of safe bet that I can do is make sure all the edges have got grass on them, and then leave the brown sort of in patches in the middle. That's the only way I'm going to be able to make sure that you know, it all lines up and looks realistic and not stupid. This is the disadvantage you get when you're doing a modular table as opposed to like just a one piece diorama type table. You've got to sort of lessen your aesthetic appeal for the sake of making it either game friendly or, you know, modular friendly. But yeah, so I'm gonna crack on with that stuff, and then see how it looks when it's done. Okay, so we've done a little bit of a test of the grass applicator and just some one of the static grasses. So this is the 2mm stuff. It's not giving me heaps of sort of static length, which, look, it is only 2mm, so it's not really an issue. I'm actually wondering if that is because it's so short. The grate of this is actually not giving it that much static charge because it's like falling through it without actually hitting it, as opposed to a longer one which will stand up. To be honest, if this goes on a little bit more flat, being the short first layer, it's not the end of the world, as long as the next lot like stands up a bit. I'm happy with the color though. Realistically, it's going to take me bloody ages to do all of this, but as you can see, like I said, stick to the edges, so I'll probably work from the outside in, and I'll, you know, get some different patches of color on there. Now in terms of what I'm going to do about layering stuff on, probably just going to try the old hairspray trick. So yeah, we'll hit this with a bit of hairspray, which will help seal that for one, but also then makes it nice and sticky for the, you know, the next color or the next length to go in. There are some really good products that you can see online, you know, from like the model railway sort of community. I had a look at them, and like they look good, but it's like $40 for a fucking bottle of it. It's like, nah, I'm already in pretty deep for this table, you know, considering it's the first table. Down the track, if this is something, you know, that I continue doing different tables, that sort of thing, then yeah, I might invest in some, but hairspray will do the job. Mrs. has got a big old thing of it that she doesn't use. Happy days. But yeah, so the trick is going to be, you know, making sure that this has a nice look of realism to it, and it's not just sort of all one color, all one length, that sort of stuff. But I am happy with the color that I've got so far. You know, not too green, but not dead either. I will have some patches of dead grass because obviously you're going to get that in an arid climate, but so far so good. Very quick update. So yep, first layer of grass is down. Did a little bit of the dead stuff as well. A couple of vids ago, I was banging on about these undulations and how they'll come in handy. And when you get the grass on, that's really, like, you can really see where that comes in. It gives you like texture and depth before you've even put the lengthy stuff on. Ended up scattering a few, you know, extra rocks into the PVA, just to give the grass a little bit of, you know, something as well. Happy with how it's come out. Not convinced by this patches of dead stuff. It comes out a bit thin and weedy, I guess, but I guess it's dead grass, so that's probably fine. I didn't want to go too overboard on it anyway, and I've kept it sort of into the brown patches where, you know, like it looks like naturally stuff's starting to die away anyway. I might even put a little bit of the dead stuff inside these patches once I get back to that, but I'm gonna let all this stuff dry and make some dinner, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, so that's tile number one more or less done. The only thing left to do, which is obviously an optional thing, is I might just throw some paint across the edge of the foam there, just so it's not blue. Just tie it in either with a brown or even a black or something like that. So we've done the second length of static grass, and I'll be honest, it's looking good. Like, I don't know how well this is going to show on the camera, but as you can see there, it's got a nice bit of elevation. Now I've stuck this down with hairspray. It's not 100% like standing up completely, which is actually kind of great because I want it to look a little bit windswept and all that, and I don't want it to just like completely stand on end because it looks sometimes a little bit too artificial. But I'm happy with how it's come out. So I also added a bit more of the dead grass into the grass in the center to give it a sort of mixed look, like it was still dying off. But yeah, pretty happy with how it's come out for the first attempt at it. You know, on a table, this will look like a patch of dirt that, you know, has either had some mystical, magical bullshit go on, or, you know, previous, you know, combats, that kind of thing, and the ground's just dead. So yeah, it'll look great once I've got a whole, you know, table going on. So moving forward, the next sort of videos I'm going to be doing more tiles at once, and I'm not going to stop to sort of record and show all this kind of stuff that I've already shown. Like, so I won't show that when I'm putting like the basing stuff down, all that kind of thing. What I will show is new stuff that I haven't shown. So like when I build hills, rivers, all that kind of thing, like I'll show how I'm going to do that. Obviously don't want it to be repetitive, that kind of thing. But yeah, man, pretty fucking happy. It was my birthday yesterday, so did a naughty thing and ordered myself a new 3D printer for doing, you know, buildings and stuff in plastic. So there's definitely going to be some Italian themed terrain coming along before long, so excited for that. But yeah, no, thanks for watching, everyone who's been sticking with me through it, and much more to come. I've kind of got the bug. I see a lot of different tables in my near future.